There we go. 1, 2, 1, 2. I was using a different mic for different things earlier today, so apologies about that. How are we doing? Monday the 15th of December, 10 days from Christmas. Today we're doing a power talk because the next session is going to be a hypnotic meditation on this, of like an identity of success, already recorded. I've done the day and the sleep and the 4-hour sleep already. So that's going to be fun. I need to adjust my lighting still. Maybe that. How are we doing there? Oh, we hit 55,000 subscribers on YouTube. Just in time. So that's pretty awesome. 55,000 subscribers. Well, I've been having thoughts about my YouTube channel. And the podcast. And the app. Which might be a huge change, I'm not sure. We'll see. Still thinking about it. One thought was not doing YouTube anymore, which is very extreme. But thankfully, we've got the Christmas period and the New Year to decide such things. What else? Hey Angela, great to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All the way on Facebook. I think you're the only kind of one on Facebook most of the time. We just don't get any reach there. And Michelle. 20 degrees? I've never been in 20 degrees. The coldest I've ever been, I've got to do in Celsius. I think there's a wild guess. Minus. Oh, yes, I have. Or roughly. It's my -6 or so, I think, in Celsius, which is like 21 Fahrenheit. So close. Yeah, look at that, bit of snow as well. Bit of snow as well. Great to have you here for the consecutive 1,186 time. I'm forgetting that other time. 1,186. Hey Linda, great to have you here as well. Welcome, welcome. And Mary, welcome. I just saw your kind, and also yours, Linda, kind comment on a short from Linda and a hypnosis session from Mary. So thank you for your kind comments. So I've been changing my I will stop the screen for a second. I've been changing this mic to a slider, as you know. New light over here. I think that looks a lot better. You see how the camera's moving. But on top of that, I posted this on my social. If you want to see what I'm looking at. Uh-oh. That's my setup. So you got the two cameras, the one on the left's the one moving. Got another camera there, but that's for when I'm sitting. The new light, the little buttons, the Rodecaster where I do all the sound effects.
Like this. 1, 2.
Underneath the central camera, we've got this mic, 1, 2, 1, 2. But I'm on the custom one. I've got a... Where am I? Where'd I go? So this is the new setup so far for my nighttime walking. There we go. Looks pretty cool, right? I'm liking the feel. There we go. Got the auto thingamajig. Thingamajig right here. Yeah, I like it. I'm wondering what else I'm going to do. I wonder. And it's a good thing to wonder. Oh, I did the wrong one. Oh, this one. Hey Mina, great to have you here. Didn't see that comment for a second. Nice. Yeah, I literally saw it on the countdown when I just went on. So I didn't actually technically read it or retain what it was said because I was also prepping as well. Yes, Merry Christmas. Where? Why is my system not working? Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. That was pretty lame after all that. Yeah, I'm happy with it so far. I think I'm kind of complete. I was thinking about introducing a third camera. So I'd have one here and one here, but I think that's overkill. Why is my system so slow?
Like this one. Merry Christmas, everybody. Is that Tiny Tim's voice? Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Oh, what's your favorite Christmas movie? I haven't watched any yet. And next Monday we're doing the quiz. If you just want to chill out. No self-development, no hypnosis, just terrible quizzes. But I've got to figure out what I'm going to watch for Christmas. I don't think I've actually watched It's a Wonderful Life. Yes, the quiz will be good. Oh, so yeah, let me know your movies. But also, you don't have to. We can just do it via chat. But would anyone here want to be verbal? Like, I can bring your... I don't know, can't promise this. Haven't done it for a year. But does anyone want to be verbal on the quiz? So I can bring your voice in. No pressure there. But we've done it before. I've just got to remember how. How to Grinch, yeah. What, the Jim Carrey one or the cartoon one? The original. The Snowman ones are good. That's why I used to watch, like, Christmas morning. I don't know if it's an American one. My favorite Christmas song was an old one. Oldish, and it's not that politically correct anymore. I think they had to censor it a little bit. I haven't seen this one either. Great to have you here, Jason. Welcome, welcome. Ah, that's all good. Hey, welcome back, as always. Welcome. I saw Mr. C for a second. I remember the wasn't like David Bowie and two of the other guy did the Little Drummer Boy on a TV show or something, or a video. There we go, some old school classics. Yeah, the Snowman one, it has no, it's just music and a cartoon. Oh, there's Mr. C. But I've got a ton of work to do before I get to stop. Ton of work. I was hoping to stop early this year. I don't think I've seen that, the Charlie Brown one. Maybe as a kid. I like the animated Jim Carrey one of, what's it called? With Scrooge. The famous book. Ghost of the Christmas Past, Present and Future. What's all that about? No, that's an American thing. Oh my goodness. This is about a... I know it's got a Welsh opera singer who was a boy at the time singing. But... yeah, it is definitely an English one. I don't know if it actually got over to America. Yeah, I wonder what else we can upgrade. I'm thinking. But it's all for work. A Christmas Carol. There we go. Yes, that's my favorite. I like the Jim Carrey one. It's like an animated one. Because he plays Scrooge and also all the ghosts. And the little flame thing. How many ghosts in the Christmas... that should be a question for the quiz. In the Christmas Carol. Okay, we should get started. It is 3:15 my time Pacific. In the sunny, sunny California. The great American Pacific Southwest. Who said that? So once again, we hit 55,000 subscribers, so that's awesome. And this session, the conscious stuff, the next session, the hypnotic meditation based on the identity of success, which was thankfully given me as an idea, because we got to create your day in the app for that. And a great client, a friend of mine, said, hey, why haven't you got a hypnosis session? I was like, oh, I need to record that, so I did. Thank you ever so much. Yeah, it's been super foggy. There was actually a warning for fog. Yeah, I bet. Get some fog up there. Oh, that's cool. I liked the play of the Christmas Carol. That was good. I did that downtown, Old Town San Diego. In this nice little small kind of theater. That was super cool. Oh, awesome. Well, welcome home. That'd be kind of cool, wouldn't it? Nice. Have the family. 55,000 subscribers. Yeah. And thank you so much. Yeah, I like the animated one. Oh. I only saw it for the first time like 5 or 6 years ago. Maybe 7 or 8. I don't know. It's probably not even that old. But I liked it. But then I like the premise of it as well. It's all about future, past, present, learning. Okay, should we get to it? We'll see what happens. I haven't done a power talk, it feels like, for a while. And with a new camera, or the camera setup, we'll see if that works. Let's just see. Will I stay in focus? Yes. Closer, closer, closer. There we go. And then we'll turn down this music while I hydrate. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead into the power talk. 3, 2, 1. Where's my music? I think it's this one on my... Is it this one? Yeah. Okay. There's going to be episode 1186. Welcome back to the podcast. My name is Joseph Clough, and this is episode 1186. And today we're talking about the identity of success. Now, the good news is this is going to be the conscious side of things. But then on the next episode, you're going to get the hypnotic meditation in making the identity of success, and then on top of that you'll be getting the traditional day hypnosis and also the sleep hypnosis as well if you become a subscriber to the app at freehypnosis.app. The ad-free experience, you get all the playlists, you get the hearting, the favoriting, the downloading, the looping, the day, night, sleep, 4-hour sleep, hypnotic meditations. You get it all in there. The Create Your Days, the audio programs, all for a fraction of price of a quarter of price of actually a hypnotist. And you get thousands of audios in there as well. And you can create your own custom hypnosis. So you're getting a really good deal. So become a yearly subscriber for the biggest discount. And then support, hopefully, my work so I can help more people. And if you are enjoying my work, please go ahead and leave a review on the App Store. And it just means your words can reassure someone to get the help they totally desire and deserve. And together, we can help more and more people in this world. But with that, let's get into this subject, which is all about creating the identity of success. Now, the nature of doing what I do means I've had the privilege of working with lots of successful people, from some directors, some sports athletes, like professional ones, full-time ones with sponsorships and all that stuff. And I've worked with a ton of entrepreneurs as well. who are very, very successful, like having companies of hundreds and hundreds of employees and doing lots of big turnover and really being successful. So thankfully, I get like the inside knowledge at times because I'm there to understand where they are, where they're going, and where they want to be. Like, it's not always about just letting go of issues. They want to be able to go, well, they're successful. How can they achieve even more? So I've had the privilege of being able to model people's success. And I'm fascinated by success myself, having read tons of autobiographies. And on top of that, you got to remember, I did terrible at school. 6 C's, all the rest were D's and E's and F's, and the C's in England were just like art and design. One was for sports and things like that. So I wasn't very successful. In fact, I dropped out at college as well. So really, I had to learn how to be successful in order to create the app, create my program, create over like 55,000 subscribers on YouTube, 22 million plus downloads worldwide in every single continent. And I don't say that to impress you, just to impress upon you as always, that you don't have to have it in your DNA. It's not about anyone special. It's about having fundamental principles that will get you to become the successful person and to achieve the life that you want. Now, when I say by success, it can mean many different things as well. You might want to have a successful business, but it could also be the successful relationship, the successful health, the successful personal development. It could be all of those things. It could be monetary, to earn X amount per year. It's entirely up to you in how you want to define success. And when you think about that, you are the only one who can define what success is and what is also possible at the very same time. You see, you might have people in your life saying, who are you to achieve, or to even want that desire, to even want that goal or outcome. So you will be battling along the way other people's beliefs and mindsets. And usually they can be very, very limiting, because as we go through life, we go through lots of resistance, lots of stuff, lots of past negative emotional events, and therefore everyone else usually goes through the exact same thing. So if you have a limiting view of what is possible, and then you add other people's limiting views of their own expectations of what they think is possible for you, it can cause us to doubt ourselves. But the good news is, we are the only ones who are actually in control of our success. And at the very least, if you position yourself in that way, that is where you're going to be really, really successful. Because the people who are successful, they take responsibility over blame. In other words, they rather having reasons and excuses as to why they're not like they are or where they want to be, which is so easy to do, because ultimately reasons gives us validations as to why we're not there. You see, I can easily find 100 reasons as to why I cannot do something. So easy, because I've probably had a lifetime of evidence of saying that, or people saying that. But those who are truly successful move from the effect side of life onto the cause side. In other words, they are in cause over the mindset. They're at cause as to where they're going to be. It's not based on how their financial situation is. It's not based on their past. It's all about how they move from this moment forward. Now, let's just say you've had a hard time in life. Maybe you've had lots of trauma, and it's not letting people off if that is the case, right? By taking responsibility. What I mean is those who are successful take responsibility for this present moment and this moment going forward. They take charge of their emotions. They take charge of their thoughts. They take charge of their identity. Even if that identity is presently limiting, they will do whatever it takes to be able to go from not worthy, not good enough, not deserving, into being the person who is enough, who is worthy, who is good enough, and so on. So you've got to really go, even though this has happened to me, even though I have this present identity of maybe failure or the fear of failure or not being enough, you're willing to take responsibility to do whatever it takes to become the version you want to be. Because your identity, because that's what this topic is about, is not fixed in place. It's not fixed in how you are as a person. It's adaptable, it's flexible. Your identity is different from when you are 1 year old, 2 years old, 5 years old, and so on. Your identity is adaptable. Yes, it is reaffirmed by our experiences and then what we choose to believe, but ultimately you have the ability to change the identity. I know that because I've been there, overcame it, my clients do every single day, and also those who I've modeled throughout my last 24 years of doing hypnosis and personal development. So ultimately, the ability to take responsibility is the source of all success, right? Because it means it's now in your control. Most of the time we push things outside of our awareness. Now is a time to assume responsibility, assume that control, to then go for it. The other thing we've got to think about is to be able to cultivate over time, because it can be pretty tricky, self-certainty, right? Because if you imagine, if we take responsibility, we have to build certainty in our life. Once again, very, very hard because we've got all this data of the past. But there are going to be certain subtle things you can be certain in. You can be certain on a day-to-day basis of the things that you're good at. You have achieved certain things. So I invite you to bring those out into reality and take some time. Write down the things that you're good at, your qualities, your values, your goals, and your dreams, because that is going to give you some evidence that there is some certainty, right? There's some levels of you, might not be fully and complete, but there's aspects of you where you can get certainty. Because once you start to cultivate and just build up that inner idea of, yeah, I'm worthy of this, I'm deserving of this, or I'm certain of this, it's going to start to build you up. You've got to turn the tide, in other words, rather reaffirming the self-talk of who are you to do these things. You need to get leverage on the certainty what you can get. Then the future certainty will start to build in. Now, the other thing, as we go on this journey of becoming a success, most people who don't succeed, they stop short, right? They're thinking short. If you look at the biggest businesses in the world, or the most successful people in the world, they're not thinking short term. They're thinking long term. They don't think we're birthing something small. We're birthing something huge that's going to transform your life. There are some companies, I can't remember what book it was now, but I think, and I might be making this up, but there were some car manufacturers in Japan who have like a 200 to 300 year plan, like outliving themselves, but they're having this such a huge, massive plan that they're willing to fulfill or to set up. So think about that. Maybe you don't do it in a business, but think about legacy. Things you like, how do you want to leave this world? What do you want to leave it in a better place? So start to think big, right? Now, thinking big will also start to potentially self-sabotage you, right? Because you're thinking, oh my goodness, this is too big, and therefore it's too far out of my reach. But still, you've got to think about that, because when you think of the long-term goal, the short-term resistance or the short-term failures on a daily or a weekly, the things where people are saying no or they're rejecting you and so on, you don't care because you know there's something bigger in store, right? So there's a huge value in making sure that you have long-term thinking, because this is your life. This is going to transform everything when you have an identity of success. So don't fall for the trap of it didn't work once, it didn't happen this week, this month, even this year. If you keep on sticking at it because you have that long depth of vision of where you're heading, that's what you're going for. It actually just came into my mind. And it's something that I talk about on some of my trainings that I do. for like companies and so on. And it's like, what's the depth of vision for an acorn? What's like the purpose of the acorn? Now you may be thinking to yourself, well, maybe a really kind of cute little squirrel will be feeding off the acorn. And you go, yeah, that's totally correct. But what else is the purpose of an acorn? Well, you could say, well, maybe a bigger depth of vision that it grows into an oak tree, which means it can feed even more squirrels, right? And you go, okay, what's even bigger as a depth of vision of that? Well, maybe it's going to grow into a forest of oak trees. Okay, but what's even more than that? Well, maybe they're going to be able to create books, tables, houses, and so on. So just thinking initially of the depth of vision of an acorn can seem very, very small. But if you really think of the depth of vision to its highest to the biggest, or even like that it creates oxygen and so on, which therefore it allows us to breathe. Maybe it creates warmth through fires and so on. But in the beginning, we didn't have that depth of vision. So if you are going to make that successful you and having the identity of success in any area of your life, you've got to expand that depth of vision. And that also means you're in it for the long term, right? But I also did say you might get a little bit freaked out by a big depth of vision because it's so far out of reach. Well, that's when you start to create mini milestones. Like, what can you do when it comes to this day, this week, this this year? So for example, with my app, I've been working on it and we have what we call a roadmap, right? And we're building out this roadmap. And that's what big, great companies do when they're launching things. They're going to have a number of things they want to achieve as milestones over the next 12 months, over the next 5 years, or even the next month or two, depending on the project. But now you've got it in place. So yeah, you've got this roadmap to the big purpose or the big depth of vision, but you've got these mini milestones that you're going to start to tick off, that you're going to start to complete. Now, what does that give you? Well, it gives you the reassurance. It gives you the certainty, which I was speaking to you about before. Because each milestone you complete, what are you getting? You're getting evidence that it's possible. You're getting leverage and you're moving yourself further and further on that roadmap to success. And each one will reaffirm that self-certainty. Now, also, if we go a little bit deeper, only two little bits I'll probably add to this as an overview, because we're going to do this in the hypnosis side of things in the next episodes. But technically, you have to regulate yourself. You have to take time for yourself. Because if we're birthing something big, and here's another quick analogy, which I really like, which I heard from someone, I can't even remember now. But obviously for humans, it's like a 9-month period of growing a human, right? The birthing, the pregnancy. Well, some animals like elephants, I think, it's like 22 months because they're birthing something bigger, right? So think about that, like you're birthing into existence something huge. Now, of course, along the way, you're going to deal with some emotional stuff. You're going to have to deal with those people. So you want to make sure that your emotions aren't ruling you, that you're actually putting the boundaries in place. How do we do this? One thing that I learned about a long time ago is to be able to create mini vacations. I think this was from David Goggins, I might be wrong. But like, if you're under stress and you're doing all the hard work, well, take a mini vacation. What's a mini vacation? In the shower, taking a moment to yourself. It could be going for that walk. It could be that 5 minutes of gratitude. It could be listening to a hypnosis session. Now, it doesn't have to be a big vacation going anywhere, but you've got to regulate your nervous system into a calm, coherent system. Of course, I've got all my hypnosis sessions for you on the app to be able to do such a thing, because those are mini vacations. Those hypnosis sessions, depending on which one you choose, is going to add value. It's going to increase your belief. It's going to give you the strength and so on. And then finally, knowing that we want to be able to regulate our system, and by the way, we learn as we go. There's no such thing as failure, because if you learn from it, you just get adaptable, you become more resilient, you become more growth orientated and so on. But then the final thing is to be able to nurture, as we combine all of these things, the self-certainty, the taking responsibility, the depth of vision as in the long-term goal, the emotional regulation, and that's finally going to be propped up with your internal worth. Because if you don't believe you're worthy, how you'll be able to bring this into existence. Now, something that I like to think about, and I was doing an email communication with one of my clients about this, and that was, and I think I've talked about it before, imagine a tabletop without a leg, or any legs, right? Tabletops usually have, or a table usually has 4 legs. Now, what is it without any of the wooden legs? Well, it's just a piece of wood, right? It's just a top. So what makes it a table are the legs, which props it up, right? Well, if you think of that tabletop as being a belief system of I am worthy, at the moment, you might not have evidence. So you need to be able to look for the evidence. You need to be able to create your own table legs to prop up this identity of success. So the more you start to work on your limiting beliefs of maybe not being good enough, worthy, and deserving, and then transcend it and transform it by finding evidence, doing the work, maybe applying to work me personally or someone else, whatever it is for you, you start to build up that tabletop of belief. You start to get the inner certainty. You get to develop yourself and evolve and grow in every single way. Because imagine this. Imagine you woke up tomorrow with the most undeniable, the absolute complete, the absolute congruent in your mind, your body, and your soul, where you just knew like you knew that you were worthy of success, that it was your birthright, not just consciously, in other words, not just articulating it or writing it down as evidence, but your whole neurology, your whole unconscious mind were all pulling in the same direction of complete, I know I'm worth this. I know that I'm deserving. I know that I'm capable, no matter what resistance from other people. Like, imagine if you woke up every single day like that, and that was your identity throughout the day, for the next week, for the next month, for the next year. How is your output different? Where is the anxiety? Where is the doubt? Where is the worry? Where's the self-sabotage? Of course, it's all disappeared. So you want to make sure that your identity comes from that place of internal self-worth. And that is why I always say, do the quiet work. Forget about working on symptoms, because those are just going to keep on propping back up into your life. But if you get to the hidden unconscious cause, the root of the matter, once you dissolve it and you replace it with that new empowered, safe belief of I'm worthy, deserving, or good enough, or whatever it is for you, how is success not possible? How is that long-term mindset, that depth of vision not possible? How is that emotional regulation not possible? How is that self-certainty not possible? Because it's going to be like your base level, in other words. It's just going to be who you are. Of course you're going to be able to get that big goal. It's fun, it's easy. You're going to look forward to learning from the rejection. You're going to look forward to saying, even though you don't think I can do it, I'm going to go all in. I'm going to find the right people to support me. Like, you're going to come from a place of bliss, of joy, of excitement, where you're going to go, I cannot wait to birth this into existence. Where it be that relationship, that money, that career, that health, whatever it is for you. You will just be from that place of absolute completion, where you will be living in the successful completion of the goal, of the dream. So whatever you do, if I could suggest one thing to make all those other things I've said to just happen naturally and effortlessly in your favor, on your terms, where you're being supported in known and unknown ways, dissolve the limiting belief which is getting in your way. because that is the true identity. Once you do that, you get the true identity of success. Now, if you don't do that, then it's still going to be very, very helpful using the other things that I've mentioned, right? Looking into the depth of vision, looking into your qualities, building that kind of belief and that evidence structure for that belief table and so on, and regulating yourself with those mini vacations and hypnosis. It just, doing the hidden unconscious belief or identity is just going to, like lightning speed, get you to where you want. 10x action rather like the 2x action ultimately. Great book, by the way. Why 10x is better than 2x. I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I mean, of course, if you ever wanted to work with me personally, have your own custom set of hypnosis sessions to deeply unconsciously reprogram you to that success and abundance in every single way, you can go ahead and book your call at josephclough.info/talk, and therefore we'll get clear on where you are, where you want to be, what's getting in your way. And then if you're a right fit for my program, my system, we might invite you to the program. Yes, there's an investment, and yes, you have to put time in it, but after 8 weeks, you'll be a whole new person where you get to live on your terms and achieve what you desire. So that is josephclough.info/talk. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and on the next episode, once again, you'll be getting the hypnotic meditation, the day, and then if you're a subscriber to the app, you'll get the sleep and the 4-hour sleep version. You go to sleep, wake up transformed. So I hope you enjoyed this, and I look forward to speaking to you on a future episode. Many thanks, and goodbye. And welcome back. We did it. We did it. Abrupt music change. Abrupt. Hey, what's all this about, by the way? Why am I frozen? What a place to freeze. Can I strategically do this? Unplug it while it's moving? And then replug it in while the camera's moving away from me? Nope. What's all this about? And I've got an itchy nose. Oh well. I think I caught it in time. Yeah, I like the Acorn. I probably missed some of the purposes as well. Would you say purposes or purposes? Or platypus? Purpose, platypus. You're so welcome, Michelle. Great to have you here as always. Stay nice and warm, please. There we go. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. So in England, we say Happy Christmas and Merry Christmas. Yes. It's true. Otherwise, it's just a piece of wood. You need to prop up the belief with evidence. Forgot to put this light out as well. We're full of lights today. It's very Christmassy. It could light up the mic. How does that look actually? Purpose. Purposes. Purposes, I would say. What's the... Would you even say... The purposes? The platypuses? The porpoise? Because it just light up the mic. If I held it there. There's a bit of light there, right? I've got nothing to prop it up though today. So I clean my desk. So we'll go there. Yeah, I like the purple. And this one. It's like a little flame. If it was like that. Oh, oh, oh. I'm light crazy at the moment. I have lots of thoughts on this now. Great talk. Can a person have both a fear of success and a failure at the same time? It is a great question. And I would say most people will have both. So I think they might have a more predominant one, that which comes to their mind, but I would probably say most people with their, if they have the fear of failure, I'd probably say the driving force is the fear of failure, because it'd be like, oh, what will people think of me and all those kind of things. And then they'll be having a bit of self-sabotage. What if I am successful? What does that mean? Will people see me differently? Do I have to do certain things, be different? Or will other people like try to cut me down a little bit? So I'd probably say predominantly fear of failure. Like the fear of being found out, of being like an imposter. Probably the main. But here's the thing, right? So speaking about like successful people, when people I work with, they have that imposter syndrome, and some people, like when I work from the beginning or when I work with them when they're successful, they start off mainly like the fear of failure, of what if I fail, what if I'm not enough, and so on. Then let's say they don't have my help, or I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. They then, on this journey, go, now I'm successful. They've got the wealth, they've got the business, they got the relationship, and so on. Then they get to this weird place of, what if I lose it all? So that's when it kind of gets like the fear of success. That's where self-sabotage, they start to doubt themselves. So if you think of like CEOs and they're like, oh my goodness, how can I achieve this success? Which kind of goes into the failure a little bit, but there's this weird kind of hesitation of like, can they reach more success? What if they do get success? Are we going to get found out again? So there's kind of like a journey going up, which kind of slowly turns into the failure and the success at the same time. That's what I reckon. I reckon so. Oh, thank you so much. Very, very kind. Yeah, we had a great coaching call on Saturday, didn't we? One more coaching call of the year. This Saturday. It's going to be fun. Bit more chill. And then this coming Monday, a week today, we'll do a nice little hypnotic? We'll do a hypnotic quiz. Hypnotic quiz. Now we'll just do a quiz. Oh, thank you. Yeah. Oh. Definitely. I mean, you think about it, the more pressure you get. Let's just take the company, for example. Like a CEO. Now, and they started off as like an employee, then to say like a managerial role, then like a more senior role, and then they're at the CEO. Well, as an employee, they didn't have much responsibility, right? They weren't in charge of navigating the ship. But when you get to that CEO level, you're like, one mistake could potentially change the path of this company, which could mean layoffs, like having to sack people, which means they can't feed their family. All those things. Then, or maybe the decision will upset their customer. Like, I might be going through something like that in the future myself. Like, if I change how I position my business, it might upset people. I got someone a bad review today saying about they thought the whole app was going to be for free. So I've got to be like, oh, do I want to upset people if I change it even further? Like, if I try to make changes on this roadmap I was talking about. But yeah, like, the more success gains more responsibility most of the time, which then comes with great consequence, right? With great power becomes great responsibility, as they say. So it puts a lot of pressure, keeps people up at night, and they think, then they kind of go into, well, am I capable to do this? Am I worthy? Not capable, not worthy, but am I good enough to be able to do this role? They second guess themselves, which then gets into paralysis analysis, which then gets into the self-sabotage. Then they bring their stress into their home life, and then it's just a repeat all over and over again. So there you go. Perfect. It's always a pleasure to do a power talk. That's true. That was very serendipitous. Serendipitous. There'll be more of that inside knowledge though. It was kind of weird though, right? Jim Carrey attended our call. How crazy is that? As always, the identity is the key. Because if they knew they were worthy, deserving, and good enough and capable, they wouldn't fear that failure because they'd have all the resources, they'd have all the knowledge and information. Because they're in that position. I'm not going to say all the time, because some people get promoted when, you know, they kind of blag it ultimately. But let's just say, if we're talking about your friend, for example, they had a limiting belief or a limiting doubt, like, I'm not good enough, or am I capable, and so on. But on paper, everyone's like, of course you, like, most of my clients, like, they will name like 10, 20 people who have been telling them that they're amazing for the job role. And on paper, they know they're really good, logically. But unconsciously, that limiting belief will create the issue. But then if you go actually make the transformation to I am enough, of course I'm capable, then the anxiety goes, the massive inspired action kicks in, the commanding, like owning your energy, radiating it out, being certain in your words and your physiology, your tonality, your communication. Like, I'm very congruent in my words most of the time. Yeah, I can trip up. And when the camera went all funny, I was like, oh, I've got to fix this, move this button, get a little bit too conscious while trying to speak. Let's see if it's... No, I'm not going to check because we've got the graphics on. But I'm very congruent in what I say because I know my stuff. But if I knew my stuff, but I didn't believe in myself, that would make me feel like an imposter. Hopefully that makes sense. Yes, that's true as well, actually. I didn't even think about that. That's crazy. I just remember the flame in the movie. It's like this, actually. It's like, well, if you watch it, it's like a... It'll make sense when you get it. Watch it. But he plays all the ghosts and the flame. Hey, you're very welcome. Pleased it resonated. Okay, we're coming up to 5 minutes to the hour. Quick question for the Americans. Most people in England be asleep. How many days in a fortnight? Because sometimes when I say in a fortnight, some Americans, most of the time, do not know what a fortnight is. Let me know in the chat if you know. Without Googling it, how many days in a fortnight? I'm just prepping you for the quiz next Monday, the Christmas quiz. How many days in a fortnight? No Googling. I can see some of you Googling. Yeah, we say fortnight all the time. That's funny. The comments took a long time to come in just now. 4 weeks, 14 days, I presume. Have a good one, Michelle. Great to have you here. Yes, so Mina and Samantha are right. 2 weeks. But we say it all the time. Like, or we would say 2 weeks as well, but like we'd equally say with the same energy, see you in a fortnight. So 14, 2 weeks. It always confuses people. No, you're all good. It's just without the E, right? Based on my memory. I don't really write out fortnight that often. Okay. 2 more minutes to make it an hour. It's getting cold in here. Oh look, Father Christmas is back. Or Santa. Yeah. Some people think I am speaking like old ye English. Thank you for being here on the Power Talks. I had a terrible night's sleep. Well, so I was overheated. And I haven't been able to work out today. So I don't think I'm going to be able to work out. Shame. Oh, good guess. Don't say that. Say you knew it. Own it. Yeah, of course I knew it. Say it all the time. Yes, great reminders. Gotta remember to remember. Gotta re-remember. Which my dad said doesn't make sense. But I think it does make sense linguistically. I got a 67 score. That's not good. Resting heart rate elevated. Recovery index low. Oh my goodness. Compared to yesterday, I was an 86. Look, all good. The day before. Oh. Hey, get back. 87. The day before on Friday, 87. 88. The day before on Thursday. Wednesday, 88. And then, wake up today, and I'm a 67. That's fair. Listen to your body. Something kept your heart rate up. Your body temperature is slightly elevated. So what's all that about? Because you can see they're good on these ones, right? Because there's a little... See, there's a little crown. That means you're doing really good. Oh, well. Gotta recover today. Whilst working. Yes. Have a good depth of vision. With milestones. Yes, I've been working, unfortunately. . We all know when we're meant to know. That's right. I don't know what I don't know. Yeah. It wasn't overly heated, so let's see if it does tell me. Somewhere. Is it activity? No. My health? No. Vitals? I was only 0.7. Nothing to be crazy about. Okay, we made it to an hour. Thank you all for being here with me. I hope you had a fun time. Check the camera. No. Face for radio, that one. And I will be back on Monday on a live stream. And we will be doing the Christmas quiz. No one said they wanted to be verbal, so that's okay. You'll just have to be very quick on the typing because it's sometimes kind of hard for me to keep the conversation going. Sometimes it's hard doing this with just writing or bringing up comments and then having to add things in between. But with the quiz, you got to be quick. You got to be real quick. But we'll try and do A, B, C, D kind of quizzes maybe. And we'll see. But thank you all. Leave a nice little thumbs up if you may do. And yeah, quiz time. It's going to be a fun time. I'll speak to you all next week. Many thanks. And yes, I'm sure live streams on iPhones just do not work. Or I don't know about Android. But they're not very good live streams. It's like spelling mistakes I make. I press sometimes, like, I haven't done it on a live stream for a long time, but it'll like press return halfway through a sentence. So I get it. But be quick on the ready. Yep, happy holidays, Merry Christmas, and all the things in between. Oh, I guess it's first day of Hanukkah today as well. So for those who celebrate Hanukkah, happy Hanukkah. I don't know too much about it, but I know it's a thing. So I'll speak to you all soon. Many thanks, and goodbye. I'm just here for the music now.